This is Ben Davison. Subscribe to Stephen Icons.
So according to Tyson Fury, obviously he's making his return to the ring after a 2.5-year absence on June the 9th at the Manchester Arena. Now he says that Joshua, he can get all the belts that he likes, but to get true recognition, he needs to defeat him. Obviously Tyson Fury is still the lineal. Now it depends on how much stock you put into the lineal as to whether or not you agree with him. Ultimately, of course, Anthony Joshua's biggest win against Vladimir Klitschko is also Tyson Fury's biggest win in his career as well against Vladimir Klitschko. Of course, both different styles, different kind of fights, whereas Tyson Fury outboxed Vladimir Klitschko for the entire 12 rounds, was never really once in trouble, whereas Anthony Joshua did go life and death with Vladimir Klitschko, a far more exciting fight, no doubt, and ultimately dropped Vladimir Klitschko in the 5th, got dropped himself in the 6th, and then dropped Klitschko twice in the 11th, and ultimately stopped him in the 11th on the ropes. So Joshua's fight was, for me, in my opinion, far more exciting, but still, it was a masterclass by Tyson Fury. So, of course, Tyson Fury is the man who beat the man. And in order for Anthony Joshua to become the man, Tyson Fury says he's got to beat the man who beat the man. In other words, Anthony Joshua's got to beat Tyson Fury. Now, these two are set on a bit of a collision course at some point, but hopefully with Tyson Fury now re-signing with Frank Warren, no hurdles. Already, I'm starting to see some red lights already from Frank Warren. Now Frank Warren is outwardly saying that there's no reason why this fight can't happen, it's because of the fans. He's going with that whole angle, and of course he compared Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, these kind of fights where Showtime and HBO got together and showed the fight. No, it wasn't Showtime, my bad. But anyway, with Top Rank and that, of course. Now what he's pretty much saying here is that he wants Sky Sports and BT Sport to come together to show this fight. Sky Sports are not going to have that. They're really not. It will be like, I mean, if you look at it in comparison, now while Sky Sports is a huge company, BT Sport is also a huge company, but for different things. Of course, BT Sports, they have like the Champions League football, and of course they're very, very popular, no doubt about it, and they do put on very good shows. But the thing is that Sky Sports is far superior in every aspect to BT Sport. So why would Sky Sports want to give up the sole event organizer, the broadcaster? Why would they want to co-broadcast this fight? It seems like Frank Warren may be being a little bit devious in this one. Now, ultimately, Tyson Fury did say that the reason that he signed with Frank Warren and not with Eddie Hearn is because he felt that Anthony Joshua is always going to be top priority on Matchroom, and that he didn't want to play second fiddle to Anthony Joshua or anybody else. And that's fair enough. I can certainly see where he's coming from. He's probably right to a point. But ultimately, this is going to be the problem. It's going to be a case of Frank Warren is not going to back down and let Sky Sports show this fight. More importantly, not because it's Sky Sports, but because it's Eddie Hearn. He has a real hatred for Eddie Hearn. So already I'm starting to see the red lights for this fight. Now, of course, Tyson Fury has got to get back into full form and at least convince the public with his fighting style and how he's performing that he's ready for an Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua also has to keep on winning, whereas Tyson Fury, obviously he's going to be fighting like a couple of journeymen, a few plumbers along the way, and then building himself back up again. Obviously, you know, each win comes with confidence and obviously knocking off that ring rust. Anthony Joshua is currently taking on the creme de la creme of the heavyweight division right now. He's going through all the top guys. So Anthony Joshua has a more difficult task of holding on to his titles, ultimately trying to become undisputed, getting rid of his mandatories. So he's got a far harder task than what Tyson Fury has. So hopefully these guys stay undefeated, or if they are going to lose, hopefully the other one loses as well, or potentially anyway, just so we can get to see this fight regardless of anything, which would be the ultimate goal, right? But for me, I think Sky Sports and BT Sport, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, there's going to be some obstacles there because neither one of them is going to want to give any ground. Of course, Frank Warren is going to go with a whole high ground mentality of, well, we're willing to show the fight and share it with Sky Sports, but Sky Sports are being selfish. You know, they want it exclusive to them. But that's the kind of route that he's going to go down. We know this. We know this very, very well. So anyway, we'll have to wait and see what happens, of course. But it does appear, though, that there's going to be some obstacles. Now, is Tyson Fury right anyway, that Anthony Joshua has to defeat him in order to be considered legitimate champion? Now, of course, if Anthony Joshua does take on Deontay Wilder next, which is looking pretty likely, then if Anthony Joshua was to win, not only will he be undisputed, but he will also have the Ring magazine. So he will have everything that Tyson Fury had, including the Ring magazine. And of course, he will have the WBC as well, which is what Tyson Fury didn't have. But what Tyson Fury does have is the lineal. Ultimately, lineal is not a real title as such, but it depends on which side of the fence that you look on. Some people consider to be lineal to be the best. And in theory, that's kind of what it is. So while Anthony Joshua would be undisputed by defeating Deontay Wilder, by grabbing the WBC belt as well, obviously the Ring magazine is going to be put on the line as well. But to be considered the best, you have to have lineal, because in the ranking system, lineal technically is number one. So some people may not consider Joshua to be undisputed until he takes on and beats the lineal champion in Tyson Fury. So drop your thoughts below as to what you think about this whole situation. That does Anthony Joshua need to face and defeat Tyson Fury to become considered the man? And also, what do you make of the whole BT Sport versus Sky Sports, Eddie Hearn versus Frank Warren situation? Do you see the roadblock? Are you seeing the red lights too, based on what Frank Warren's been saying about the networks cooperating? Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.